Welcome to the Worst of the Riot podcast. Coming up, how many bolts need to be missing before you ground a plane?
Also, a Walmart worker who cares way too much about her job and more on the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Did you try to buy the Applebee's date night pass yesterday?
Of course I did.
And did you have any luck?
I did not.
How many minutes after it went on sale did you give up?
I did not get on right at noon.
It was
because I forgot about it.
Noon Eastern. Oh, okay. So you never had a chance then?
No, I did have a chance.
You had a chance?
Because I remembered at 12:03.
Oh, no, you didn't have a chance.
So then I logged on and the website was already crashed.
Yeah.
So I tried to get on multiple different ways. Couldn't get on there. Then went to Twitter. Saw that everyone said it was sold out and that they were all upset.
Yeah. Shockingly, Applebee's, we talked about this last week. They had their date night pass, which went on sale yesterday at noon Eastern. The date night pass, $200 for what could be used for up to $1,500 worth of Applebee's food over the course of a year. And it sold out within 1 minute. So 12:03, you were 2 minutes late at that point. Never
I felt closer than that.
Yeah.
I felt like I had a chance, but then I realized like there's no chance.
Yeah, even if you were sitting there waiting, I don't think, because that's what it sounds like a lot of people did, sat and waited. They were so excited, so amped up for Applebee's Day Night Pass, and then they couldn't get it. Anyways, a lot of disappointed Applebee's fans now have to question if it's worth it to pay full price for Applebee's every night for a year. Instead of getting this date night pass. And what's crazy is, here's what's crazy to me, is that Applebee's, although they've confessed that yes, it's sold out, the date night pass, they haven't said how many sold. So there literally might have been like 10 of these things, and yet they got all this promotion out of it. We don't know.
Yeah, it was great PR by them. They never said.
They never said, and I guess now they can get away with it. Is there any rule against that? There's probably not. But it does feel...
Well, considering that they're the one that made the promo, they're the one that are giving things away for free, I would say there's probably no rules against how many they want to give away.
Yeah. But it doesn't feel like... I just hate when they lie to you. Like, if it wasn't never available, they shouldn't be able to say it was available.
But it was available.
How do we know?
Because it was up.
Yeah, but who's one person that got it?
See, I haven't looked into who actually won them.
I want step up here and prove yourself, Applebee's.
Well, you got to think about this.
Show us a person that has one of these.
It says 1,500 restaurants, like Applebee's, are accepting this across the U.S. So that it has to. You have to think that there's like 1,500 of them.
You think
one per restaurant?
One per restaurant?
Feels like it might be.
I don't know. I have a bad attitude towards Applebee's at this point. It's not just because of this, but I don't want to drag Applebee's. But my opinion very much changed on them over the weekend. So, and now I'm even more upset, even though I didn't want this. I changed my mind. I didn't want it.
You changed your mind?
And I just don't believe them. I don't believe. There's no proof that this actually existed.
So you think that they're just a fraud and they didn't give any away?
I do think they're a fraud. Yes, I do.
Well, maybe you should sue them.
Yeah,
a civil lawsuit.
I need a lawyer for that. You know anybody? You know any good lawyers I can sue you with? You're
not suing me, but it says if it said it sold out in minutes, that has me believing that they did sell at least a couple.
If they are lying and they can get sued, but we relayed the information last week, are we also liable?
Never.
Do yourself a favor and follow The Riot on Instagram at RadioU Riot.
Do you want on TikTok auto scroll to be a new feature? You want it to where you don't have to swipe up anymore? I'm asking.
No.
You don't want that.
Why would I want that?
Because why would you want to watch the same video over and over again?
I feel like I watch each video at least twice.
You do?
Yes.
I've never heard anybody do that.
You've never watched a video more than once?
No, I never make it through the first time. Forget about. So I guess auto scroll wouldn't help me that much because I'd still be swiping. But TikTok now is rolling out auto scroll. It sounds like to more and more people. It actually started about a year ago is when for some select few. Auto scroll, where you don't have to swipe up at the end of the video instead of just looping. It goes on to the next video. They are now letting that go further and further. And to me, hopefully, this becomes a feature. Now, it would definitely be a type of thing where you should have the option, right? In your settings, you can either keep things the way they were, the good old-fashioned way, where you have to swipe up or else it loops, or auto scroll. But to me, I would definitely prefer. I'm actually thinking about this. At first, I feel like everybody, they're just resistant to change. And I had those instincts as well. But then I was like, I never want to watch a video a second time.
Never. I feel like I watch almost every video twice, but it just depends on what the video is.
Does it all happen so fast?
Yeah, it depends on what if it's a video where someone like is falling down hurting themselves, it's like a funny video. You watch that one time? No, you watch that like 6 times. And so I feel as if it's just gonna, the only part that's gonna be annoying about it is if it auto scrolls and then you have to scroll back up. And then if you want to watch a video like 4 times, then every time you finish the video, boom, there it goes, boom, back. Boom, there it goes, boom, back. And so that's going to be the part that's kind of going to be kind of annoying. But if you're like playing TikToks in the background, like if you watch TikTok to go to sleep, which is a horrible way to go to sleep, then this could be good for you because then it'll just go all night. And your whole battery when you wake up will be at like 6%.
They should have, if they continue on with this, and I don't know all the specifics of how, like, the people that have been testing it out, how it's worked for them. But on YouTube, they already have autoplay. I don't even know if they do it for shorts because I never watched shorts on YouTube. But on the regular videos, you have the autoplay button, and you can either enable or disable that. And it's actually kind of beautiful to have that on, but also the option to turn it off depending on how you're using it. And so for TikTok, you could do that. Or if maybe you're like me and you never want the videos, but you're in the midst of a video and you're like, I'm going to need to see this again. What do you've got? You've got a repeat button that keeps looping it until
a repeat button.
Yeah, like it's music. That actually, I mean, that's a function that's worked pretty well in the music world for a pretty long time. Like since CDs were a thing.
Is the good old loop button.
The repeat button, yeah. Make it an option.
There you go.
I just can't believe you watch like every TikTok twice. That's unbelievable to me.
Yeah, I watch a bunch of them over and over again because all of mine aren't like people talking. They're all just like funny videos. And usually funny videos I enjoy to watch more than once.
Did it make you crack up?
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
I am the type of guy that admires people that stick to their principles, that have like the belief and they don't compromise on it. I feel like in many instances we could use more of that. People that are like, no, I actually really want to stick to this thing. In theory, I like that. But then in practice, you see this. A woman who has made clear she is a vegan, and at her wedding, she will not invite anybody that is a meat eater, no matter how close they are to her, because she doesn't want to have the weight of murderers being at her big day.
Murderers?
That's a pretty drastic accusation there.
Yeah, that sounds pretty dramatic. A little aggressive even.
It's a pretty common thing.
Accusational.
To eat meat. And apparently she's okay with being, I mean, you can't not be family with people, but apparently she's okay. These are people that ordinarily, everything else equal, it sounds like, she would invite, except that they eat meat. And so they're out of luck. Now, of course, you know what my first thought is, Isaiah? The top reason to go to a wedding? The free food.
Yeah.
And as much as I don't want to disparage all vegan offerings, because it's not like every single vegan thing is the worst. But the wedding food is not going to be good at the reception at an all vegan wedding.
What kind of like appetizers are they teasing you with there? You know, like, you go from the wedding to the reception. And there's that in-between time where they've got, like, the little pigs in a blanket. There's, like, little things, little finger foods. And in my mind, I'm like, that's the best time. Like, the dinner, awesome.
Yep.
But I'm really looking for those finger foods and the desserts. That's by far my favorite part of the wedding every single time.
Actually, you know what would suffer the most is probably the desserts.
Desserts.
Yeah.
No milk, brother.
No milk.
There
no
ain't
eggs.
no milk.
No eggs. Ooh. Yeah, that'd be difficult. I'm thinking best case scenario, you get like fried cauliflower.
That's the best case scenario.
That's the best case scenario. And yeah, we're just getting to this. Besides the fact she's calling every meat eater a murderer and is so anti-meat eaters that you won't invite. But you know what? It's her wedding. It's her choice. I don't think I would be so upset. You know, if this is her attitude, then let her do that. And I hope she has a lot of vegan friends.
And I also think as well, I think that you could still invite everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know that she has family members that eat meat.
Of course. Has to.
And so maybe it would even be wild if you just invited them and let everyone know, just so you know, it's my big day, so everyone's going to eat vegan.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to eat salad or whatever. I don't know what the vegan diet is, but if you were like, hey, do you want to eat my big day, but if you come, you have to eat this, that would be crazy to do. Because obviously, for most people, you have like a vegetarian option at your wedding. But if you wanted to not have a meat option, that's fine, I guess. But you would still invite like your uncles and grandparents and your dad.
It is kind of, well, yeah, let's actually think about this for a second. I mean, if this is your line of thinking, does that mean that every person that you invite to your wedding, like you're taking all of their foibles, their little qualms, their skeletons in the closet, you're taking that all on yourself? You know what I mean? Because there's other bad things that people, even if you think eating meat is a horrible thing to do, there's other bad things that people have done that those vegans that you're inviting to your wedding have done. Are you taking those? What about the weight of that? What about the weight of the speeding ticket that
that old Johnny got?
Yeah, right. You want the weight of that?
Yeah, that is.
Or do you draw the line of murder? Maybe murder's the line.
Yeah, it's just killing
animals.
You know, and yet again, I'm just like, it seems as if it's your big day. Celebrate however you want. But if you're worried about this, you're going to have the most stressful wedding of all time. Yeah. Because this should be the least of your worries on that day. Whereas if you're freaking out about what everybody's eating, I mean, there's no chance that you're going to make it through the whole day without completely losing your mind.
Now, can I say, again, a little admirable that she's sticking to her guns so much, but also crazy.
Yeah, like if I said no vegans at my wedding, that would be wild. I would feel very bad. My mom would never allow that.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
It's a tough time for planes as of late. Not only do you have the whole Boeing Alaska Airlines controversy, now you've got this flight. They're supposed to go from Manchester in the UK to New York City. This flight was on Virgin Atlantic. It was an Airbus A330. I guess that's a different brand of Airbus is different from than Boeing, right?
I assume so.
And this flight was delayed. It was grounded before takeoff because a traveler from the UK named Phil Hardy, sitting near the window, noticed what seemed to be some missing screws in the wing of the plane. And he makes it like, you know, I'm a pretty good flyer, but my partner, she was really freaking out about it. She was getting a little more nervous. So I just said something to the flight attendant just to be safe. And sure enough, the flight was grounded so they could get a maintenance crew up there and take a look at it. They did eventually wind up making their way to New York City, I think on this very plane, but not before some kind of engineer got up there and tinkered around with the wing to try to deal with those screws that seemed to be loose or missing.
So they were in the air. She notices. He tells flight attendant. They land. Screw them in. take off again?
Don't think that it had taken off yet.
Oh, okay.
It was still on the ground.
Hopefully that wasn't too big of a delay then.
Yeah. But how many people, think about this, how many people would not have pointed this out?
Me.
Exactly. You'd be like, they know what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
Even now, even after these controversies that have happened, these tragedies and these big mistakes that have taken place, you'd still see that and you'd be like, I probably, that's right. It's probably meant to be that way.
It'll hold tough.
Now, like the explanation after the fact is, that's just like a secondary panel for aerodynamics. So it actually wasn't that important. It's not like that would bring the plane down.
And it says that each of these panels has like 120 fasteners.
Mm-hmm.
So those like 4 missing pretty much do nothing. Yeah.
So, I mean, really, it all was a delay for pretty much nothing. But then again, you wonder if those things go missing, like how many have to go missing before they're like, all right, time to get up here, the screwdriver. Somebody needs to deal with this. How many? Because that's an answer I would like to know. Apparently, what is this, about 4? 4 not enough unless somebody points it out. 6? 15?
It's got to be probably like 40.
How many should I be watching for before I point it out?
I'm thinking, because right here, the big mistake was 4 screws in a row that were missing, but there were also screws on each sides of it. So it looks like it's pretty good.
Yeah.
You screwed in there.
And that's exactly what the inspector said. He's like, it should be pretty good.
It should be solid. No one, you guys don't have to worry about it.
Let me know when like 20 more of these go.
If the whole row's out,
yeah,
then that's different.
And still, that'll just be this little panel will go away. We'll buff it out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you guys have no idea how many things fly off the plane as you're going.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not a big deal. We just replace it when it lands.
I just also like to think of did these guys that they called out to mess with it, did they even actually do anything? Or it's just like, hey, put on a vest. They just pulled somebody at, get it, put on a vest. Here, we'll give you a screwdriver. Go make it look like you're messing with the wing.
Yeah, go out there and start screwing in.
Try not to make anything else fall off, but just, look like you're doing something for a little bit. Then we can take off.
See, but I understand some people who are freaked out about flying.
Yeah.
That could probably be a scary moment for them.
I would say so.
For me, I would be like, we'll be all right.
I feel like we should be more scared and we're not.
No, we definitely should be.
Yeah.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, RadioU.
Who's the worst in this story? I've got a Walmart employee, an associate at a store in Wisconsin. This employee, went live on TikTok while she was on the clock, while she was working. Okay? Can we agree? Not advisable. Maybe she didn't have anything to do, but may not be the best choice. But then again, if you're doing that, you're like, what's going to happen? What are they going to do to me? Yeah,
realistically, I mean, probably not the best thing to do, going live at work. But I bet on that live broadcast, you could tell if she was working or not.
That's right. It'd actually be a good way. Yeah, it's on the record. Are you actually getting stuff done? But she got talked to by her manager. Yet again, this is in Wisconsin. Because apparently, according to the manager, according to this girl, according to the manager, someone and another Walmart employee at another store in California saw her live on TikTok while she was supposedly working and reported that she was live on TikTok while you're supposed to be working. And so obviously word gets to her actual manager, who then goes and talks to her. So who's the worst here? Is it her for being live while working? Or is it this other Walmart associate multiple time zones away, several states away, reporting her? Like, what business is it really of yours? How does it affect you?
Yeah, I would say the whole multiple time zones away reporting is crazy. Seeing someone live on TikTok in California or in Wisconsin or Florida, or wherever it is,
yeah,
and deciding that you're going to call that store and be like, hey, just so you know, one of your employees is live, that seems kind of wild.
Now, maybe there's an easy way to tell this. Obviously, I didn't watch the live from the Walmart. But then I start to wonder. I start to think, did another employee from another Walmart actually report her? Or was the manager just using this as an excuse? Because how would the employee from the other Walmart states away know which store this gal worked at?
See, that's what she questioned, too, in the comments. Mm-hmm. She said it took her a long time to figure out how they figured it out.
Oh, was it something? I mean, it's not unreasonable to think that somewhere over the course of a live, you'd be able to see some kind of identifying thing. But then that person was like really sleuthing the person that was reporting her. So
super sleuthing.
Yeah, so take it easy. Why are you paying so much attention? Clearly, you're getting a lot of entertainment, it sounds like, out of this gal being live while she's working.
Yeah, see, for me, yet again, it seems like a big waste of your time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not like you're going to get a raise.
That's what I was wondering. What do you gain out of this? Not that you have to do everything for your own gain, but is this really something so important you need to report it?
And how much do you care about the success of this Walmart?
Mm-hmm.
11 states away.
One succeeds, we all succeed.
I guess they're all in.
A rising tide raises all boats.
Like, if we... It just seems wild. I mean, to call the other California store and be like, just so you know, one of your workers, that seems like a wild thing to do.
It does. It's a little far-fetched, but...
It kind of feels like when now this is even worse. It's like when you go to Chipotle and they just give you like a little bit of rice. And I'm like, do you really care that much about how much Chipotle's spending on rice? I'm like, can you just give me a full serving? This feels like that is, do you really care that much about how well this Walmart in California, when you're 11 states away, is doing? Why do you care that much?
I guess they think Walmart's only as good as its weakest link.
This is clearly the weakest link.
Yeah. The TikTok live streamer. Yeah.
Ruining it.
You know what I think? 2 wrongs don't make it right. But I don't think the first wrong was that wrong.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on Radio U.
We've hit peak Stanley Tumbler talk. Like this is a fad that's about to fade out, right? You think?
We can only hope.
We can only hope. I'll tell you that I don't know. I thought we were getting to the point where people were done with it, but then again, when somebody's trying to steal $2,500 worth of Stanley Cups, and it's not like a hardened criminal, it's just some random person at a Target, it makes you think that people aren't done with it. This is exactly what happened last week in California, Placer County, where a woman was stopped by police. She was noticed walking out of a store with a shopping cart full of Stanley tumblers without paying for them. And once the cops actually confronted her, they eventually wound up confiscating $2,500 worth of Stanley Cups. If you're wondering, that's 65 Stanley Quenchers.
She was close to getting away with it if no one had seen her walk out of the store.
Yeah, that's
what
right.
is she thinking? You thought that stealing that many Stanley Cups, 65 of them in your cart, and no one was going to be like, that raises an eyebrow.
You got to make multiple trips. How many do you think you could get away with?
3.
3? Yeah. Even 3, you might be pushing it because there's still such a hot commodity that if somebody noticed, like, there's going to be eagle eyes on these. And I'm not just talking about from the store employees and their security and whatever, because they don't want to get stolen from. I'm talking about, as we've covered here on the show before, other Stanley Cup enthusiasts are going to be like, hey, whoa. What do you think you're doing with those? Leave some for all of us. But she went ahead, this gal, 23 years old, 65. And what's crazy is there are so many different unique ones. It's not like she just grabbed an armful of the same 65. She got like some of everything. It seems like she spent a lot of time curating this collection before she decided she was finally ready to go.
Like, imagine putting 65 of anything in your cart and thinking you're going to be able to walk out of the store with it.
It's suspicious. It's eye-catching.
When will this end? The Stanley Cup-edness? When will the Stanley Cup thing end?
I don't know. Is this one of those things where the people that like Stanley Cups, there's two things that can happen, right? Because I don't think the vast majority of people aren't obsessed with Stanley Cups, but the people that love them so much right now. But then there's two things that can happen when a story like this hits such a height in the news. There's either the people feel the derision of the rest of us looking down on them, like, you're behaving this way over this silly thing, really? And so then they feel bad and they give it up because they're like, yeah, it's a silly fad anyways. But then there's the other thing, the reverse, where they dig their heels in. They're like, don't make fun of my Stanley Cups. And they want them even more. And I don't know which way we're headed.
See, because the whole, like, cup thing, like having cups, this has been going on for years.
Yeah.
I mean, you think back to the hydro flask. Everybody wanted a hydro jug, a hydro flask. Now it's Stanley Cups.
There was Yeti mugs before.
Oh, man, this feels like it's never going to end.
Yeah.
Which is fine with me if this is your thing. If your thing is cups, cool.
Yeah.
That can be your thing. That doesn't bother me at all, actually. I actually, if this is the biggest thing trending, this is a pretty good time for me right now. Because I'm totally fine with everyone obsessing over Stanley Cups.
You're much more interesting your obsession, arguably more interesting than Stanley Cups.
Yeah, Stanley Cups, totally cool with me. If you want to be obsessed with that, because you know what? I don't have any interest in it, and it doesn't annoy me either. I'm totally fine with this.
There's never been a can of worms they didn't open. The Riot, RadioU.
We're food fighting. The new addition to Wendy's breakfast menu is here. They've got a new breakfast burrito, and we've got it on hand. It is exciting. It's just about every single ingredient they have for breakfast stuff, all in one burrito. However, I'm telling you right now that this whole excursion right here comes with an asterisk with it. Because it's supposed to also, and they promoted this, come with a couple packets of Cholula per burrito. Guess how many packets of Cholula we received with our order?
0.
0. So unfortunately, I don't know if this is the most accurate representation of what this could be. Now, that said, do you usually put hot sauce on your breakfast in any shape or form?
I do not. So therefore, I probably wouldn't even use the Cholula. But for the food fight, I would have used it.
I would have tried it because I thought that's how Wendy would have wanted it, but apparently not this Wendy. So, but what is in here is bacon, applewood smoked, sausage, egg, American cheese. There's seasoned potatoes, which are quite good, and also a Swiss cheese sauce, all mixed in here in burrito form. So it sounds pretty good.
Are you a breakfast burrito guy? Is that something that you would order?
This isn't normally what I would order. Usually breakfast burritos are too egg focused for my personal preferences. What about you?
See, for me, I would not ever lean breakfast burrito. I'm more of a breakfast sandwich guy.
Yeah.
Than I am. Or just traditional breakfast. I'm not a breakfast burrito guy at all. If I'm doing sit down breakfast, I'm ordering like one of the classic meals like eggs, toast. That's more my breakfast style than the burritos.
And some of the breakfast food bread options are so much better than a tortilla is. But maybe this is a little healthier, so a little lower calorie anyways. So let's see if it's any good, even without the Cholula involved.
First bite tasted good.
It's a nice mix.
I got a nice potato.
Did I mention the Swiss cheese sauce that's on here?
You did. You brought that up.
Because that's kind of what sets it apart from everything else.
Did you taste it in your bite?
Yeah, I
didn't get it in the first try.
No, I got it. It's similar to, I think, what they would put on some kind of like their Baconator fries or something like that. which it actually kind of works. I don't know. I'll tell you what. Eating this, even though it is a burrito, you're not fooling anybody. But it doesn't even. It just feels unhealthy to me. You know what I mean? Like if I actually feel worse and more guilty eating this, but taste-wise, so far, I'm kind of into it.
The potatoes are really good. That's the part for me that's been the most obvious.
Mm-hmm.
The potatoes taste great. The sauce, I'm still not, 2 by 10, not really getting any sauce. I've not touched the sauce yet. So, but for me, that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
That means it's not over-sauced, which was my worry.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wanted to order it sauce on the side, be able to dip the sauce.
Oh, yeah, they wouldn't let me do that.
So, therefore, not over-sauced. I'm with it. It tastes good. It's a pretty good breakfast burrito.
Would you consider, you're going through the Wendy's drive-thru, you need breakfast, would you consider ordering this versus their other options?
I love Wendy's breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things there that I really like. This is not bad, but it would not be my first choice because there are things that I like more.
You know what? The other thing that's positive about breakfast burritos is that they're way less messy than other breakfasts. They can be anyways. Like biscuits will get all crumbly on you. This, you don't have to worry about anything dripping or whatever. What if I told you one last thing? It's like everything all rolled into one. It's literally just about everything on the breakfast menu, all rolled into one, handheld, and it's $3.99. That's the price.
Whoa, this is a big burrito.
It is. It's all. Yeah, that's also should be noted that it's hefty.
This is not a light burrito. This is a big burrito. You could do one of these. At least for me, I could do one of these and be feeling pretty good. Also, this fills a need for Wendy's because Wendy's doesn't have a breakfast burrito.
Yeah.
They have croissants, they have English muffins, they have biscuits, they have all kinds of other breakfasts.
Which are all very good, too.
Yes, but I think they're missing the breakfast burrito people.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is making them pretty happy. For the people that already like Wendy's breakfast, you wanted them to have a breakfast burrito, this is really good.
I think for me, based off of the size of it, it feels like you're getting, I don't know if you are, but it feels like you're getting more food than if you were to order one of their sandwiches. And it's basically like the same price, maybe just a couple cents more. So I would give this the standard 4 out of 5 rating. I would consider ordering this. I don't think it's as enjoyable as, like, say, their chicken biscuit or basically anything with maple. I really like their maple stuff, but it's up there. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's good. The size is the main thing for me that really boosts it a little bit. I would say it's about the size of like my hand, like a full man's hand is about how big it is. And so for me, that's a pretty big breakfast burrito for a fast food restaurant. I'm going to give it a 3.9. I would not order because I'm not a breakfast burrito guy.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the only thing that's holding me back.
Oh, we got one last thing. Imagine it had Cholula. Would that make it better?
It could have. I don't know. Maybe that would be what would put it over the top.
We will never. We
for
may
hot
never
sauce
know.
people,
yeah,
it would put it over the top.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow @RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
Do you think cute and I don't know if cuddly is the right word, but they seem so innocent, so playful, so full of joy, so fun, don't they?
They do seem like a nice little animal.
It's not somehow how they've been propped up in the media over the years, but you don't want to hear what I'm about to tell you about dolphins because this is one of the most sinister things. If you pay attention, you can find stories. The dolphins are actually, they have much more of a mean streak than you would suspect. Like sometimes even dolphins in captivity, I don't know why I say even, like they're less likely. It feels like they would be more likely because they're all cooped up and trapped, but they'll attack people. They'll do certain wild things to people that'll swim with them. And they've also been shown here, apparently in the wild now, it's been documented that dolphins have been caught attacking baby manatees.
Like killing? Are we talking killing or attacking, bullying? Where do we draw the line?
I didn't want to bring in the K word to it.
Murder?
But it is. Yep, murder. Mm-hmm. Manatee slaughter.
You know, like manatees have to hate dolphins still. Because like everybody would prefer a dolphin over a manatee.
Yeah,
I mean, like if you're gonna swim with the dolphins versus the manatees, if I gave you the option, everyone's picking the dolphins.
Yeah.
Let's not lie.
What is a manatee but a slow, fat dolphin?
But they have to despise the dolphin. Like, oh, you think the dolphin's so great?
Yeah.
They're actually jerks.
They are jerks. That's what I'm saying here. This isn't the first type of animal that dolphins have been caught killing for fun and not for food. But just to be clear, these baby manatees, they're not killing them so they can eat them. Although it says here, clearly it's not for food. I don't know. I also think if manatees weren't endangered, they look like they got a lot of, like maybe blubber tastes good, you know? Like maybe all that manatee, I don't know. I feel like it might not be the worst tasting animal, but dolphins are not killing him so they can eat them. They are just going after them just for the pure fun of it. And it's not even like, I don't know. Dolphins must have a clearly different mindset because for humans, I see the idea that like if you can bring down an animal bigger and like challenging, like a big, strong, fast, agile predator type of animal, there's some kind of like, there's something to that. I understand why some people might be drawn to that, but it's dolphins. They aren't even challenging. Like this is not a challenge. It's a manatee, slow, unassuming, not bothering anybody. But it's not even a manatee. It's a baby manatee. What is the point?
Yeah, killing the children. I mean, I'm always against killing the children.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be doing that for the dolphins. But this is just another way that the dolphins look in such a good light.
Mm-hmm.
When you look online, when you watch the TikToks. But in real life, all these animals are killers anyway.
It's just nature. I mean, I guess I don't know how upset you can truly be.
How mad can you be?
You can't.
Dolphins
what are we going to start prosecuting dolphins? We can't do. I mean, it's not a crime what they're doing.
Dolphins eat a variety of fish, squid, shrimps, jellyfish, and octopi. Doesn't list manatee there.
Yeah, they don't need them. Even octopi. Come on, leave the octopus alone. They're smart.
Nah, the octopus I don't feel so bad about.
You don't?
They're kind of scary.
Hudson is the maple syrup. And Isaiah is the power protein flapjack. This is The Riot on Radio U.
What's the worst movie you saw this year? Let us know at 8772 Radio U. We'll see if it's up for a Razzie Award. The Razzie nominations were revealed last night. As per tradition, the nominations come out the night before the Oscar nominations, and then the actual winners come out the night before the actual Oscars. Isaiah, you remember the worst movie you saw in 2023?
I don't know that I had a worst. I had some highs, I had some lows, but there wasn't one that stood above the rest as a horrible movie. I saw one documentary that I really did not like because the ending of it was just so horrible.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it, but I remember you talking about it.
Yeah.
Maybe some of these will jog your memory. See if you've seen any of these. The Razzies for Worst Picture of 2023. The Exorcist Believer. Do you remember that movie?
Yes, I didn't see it, but that one is all over the Razzies.
Yeah, the Razzies definitely hated that one. They just really seem to hate that the Exorcist name continues to be brought up or that they've continued to make movies off of it. Similarly, The Expendables is also up for Worst Picture. Expendables 4. Meg 2, The Trench. Shazam! Fury of the Gods, and Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, all up for Worst Picture.
Well, that's what you get for making a Winnie the Pooh that's supposed to be a scary movie.
Yeah, that's to say the least. Now, I could go through all of these award nominations for you, but I'll be honest, I'm looking at this list of movies. Isaiah, have you seen any of the movies on this list? For worst movies, worst actress, worst actor.
I have. Ant-Man, the Wasp, Quantumania, all over the place here.
I just got to that one. That's up for a few awards. That movie was bad, but like worst anything of the year. Come on.
I mean, come on.
Well, I just said it was bad. It wasn't even bad. I don't think it was bad. I think it was okay. Do you call into question this? Because this raised my eyebrow. You go through the different categories. They do stuff like this, the Razzies do. Worst prequel, remake, or ripoff, or sequel. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, The Exorcist Believer, Expendables 4, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Still Beating a Dead Horse. Does that sound a little like they need to look in the mirror a little bit?
Yeah, a little weak. I mean, I get, but that's their whole thing, though. They're the Razzies, man. That's their whole thing.
Yeah, but like if you're gonna razz these movies,
that's their whole thing.
How about like a little bit of wit? How about you really stick it to them?
You want to start writing for them?
Yeah.
Start writing for the Razzies.
Mm-hmm. Either me or Joe Coy, maybe.
Yeah.
He might have some better jokes. I don't know. Let us know the worst movie you saw of 2023. 877-2-RADIO-U. And we'll let you know if it was up for any of the Razzie Awards.
You don't always have to agree with Isaiah to always disagree with Hudson. The Riot. Radio U.
And this one is a doozy.
Oh, yeah?
Because it is yet to be seen if it will turn out to be pretty factual.
Okay.
This is the Super Bowl logo conspiracy theory, which you probably see making the rounds on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, pretty much everywhere on social media right now.
I've heard a little bit about this, mostly from you.
Shocker.
But I've also heard various people, almost as long as the internet's been around anyways, as long as I've been on the internet, saying that NFL and sports in general is rigged. So there's just one more in the long line.
Well, let me just try to convince you even more.
Okay.
This recently came about in the past 2 Super Bowls. They came out with a new Super Bowl logo, which they switch up every couple of years. Mm-hmm. About every 5 years, they change the style of logos. And the newest style has like the Lombardi trophy in the background. And then it also has the year in Roman numerals.
Okay.
But the past 3 years, including this year, the Roman numerals are colored in with 2 different colors.
Okay.
So if we go back to what would be 2022.
Yep. Last year.
Well, 2022 Super Bowl. So 2 years ago.
Got it.
That would have been the red or orangish yellow Super Bowl. Which many people would say, who was orange and yellow? That would have been the Cincinnati Bengals and Los Angeles Rams who met in the Super Bowl.
All right.
But if you don't believe that, I get it. I understand.
I would consider the Rams to be blue.
Or yellow.
They're blue.
You got to stretch for the conspiracies, brother. And then, so last year, you might be thinking, well, 2 years in a row, that would be kind of wild.
A little suspicious.
Last year's colors were blue and red. And if you remember,
hold on a second.
If you remember last year, that would be the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Neither one of those teams has any blue.
It's like a bluish green. That's what the Eagles are. They're like a green.
They're green.
It was like the color was green enough. It was like kind of like a teal.
Mm-hmm. And the Super Bowl logo looks like it if your TV was a little off or whatever.
It does. But you're thinking, okay, 2 years in a row of it like kind of resembling. Because obviously the NFL couldn't pick the exact colors of the Eagles and Chiefs.
Yeah, got it.
Like you want them to pick their logo colors, and obviously we'd all figure that out. It has to be just kind of similar. So this year, you might be wondering, as we've made it down to the final 4 teams, and this has been going on for months. People have been talking about this. People have been saying, oh, you need to bet on it now. It's already predetermined who's going to the Super Bowl. Because the colors for this year, purple and red. And you might be wondering, who's purple and who's red?
Yeah.
The San Francisco 49ers and the Baltimore Ravens. The 2 favorites to make it to the Super Bowl just so happen to have the same colors as the logo.
But based off of your description, I already know what's going to happen. If it's the Chiefs and Lions, it's going to be like, look, the Chiefs are red, and the Lions, it's kind of purplish, bluish, silver.
So you're out.
I don't believe this at all.
So you're totally out. You think this means nothing?
Yes, I do think it means nothing.
Well, I'm glad you say that.
Absolutely do.
Because the 2025 logo has been leaked.
Okay.
And you might be wondering, what colors have they chosen?
I would love to know.
You would love to know. Well, it's based in New Orleans next year.
Okay.
And so the logo that has been leaked has the Roman numerals, and the two colors are purple and green. Many people, when they think green, would think the Philadelphia Eagles going back.
Yeah.
Some would even say the New York Jets, possibly.
Oh.
Others might think the Green Bay Packers. But if this means nothing, I mean, obviously we don't worry about it.
Yeah. All right.
Toss
You know what? Maybe actually not so bad of a
you're changing your tune.
conspiracy. Yeah.
All of a sudden.
But would it be worth it to have the 49ers make it if it also meant next year either the Jets with Aaron Rodgers or the Packers make it?
I mean, you got a pretty good shot. I mean, of all the teams that are green.
You got a 2 out of 3.
You're looking pretty good.
Clearly it wouldn't be the Eagles because they're blue.
Oh, I mean, obviously, we saw the Eagles colors 2 years ago.
That's right. So
more
it has
of a teal.
To be.
So then we're looking Green Bay Packers or Jets could be the move.
Do you believe this conspiracy about the logo colors of the Super Bowl? 8772 Radio U. Is it all going according to the script?
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.